My name is Markus Römer, and today we do, I just call it a second try on CSA, because I was wondering, it's still there. It's an overhype which is going on, and so we will have a second focus on that. I already did a clip about that, so we will do another and integrate an article of a good colleague into that. So I start with that slide. It's about marketing. You see here an offer for an 8 hours free GMP QMP Part 11 webinar covering all of that. That's interesting. All-inclusive GMP audits. Yeah, that's cool, but agencies are doing inspections. And it's a wild mix-up of GCP, GLP, cosmetics. It's for suppliers, the FDA, whatever QMS, quality management system, but with ICH Q10, we would call it a pharmaceutical quality system, a PQS, and some ISO. And what you see, I think there are not enough stamps and marks on that. I don't know if they have been generated by AI, FDA, EMA, ISO, WHO, GMP publication, compliance materials, medical device GMPs, GMP certified for whatever, on which basis. Canada is pretty cool. They have implemented PICS, mostly one-to-one. Very cool. Clinical service group. Okay. Cosmetics GMP. Auditing. They love the word auditing. But anyhow, I would not join this session. I thought about that if I do that for fun. Auditing. What is really critical that they use the FDA logo in the background. Usually you're not allowed to use the FDA logo. There's a logo policy, so don't do that. So coming from this strange training offer to something else, we wanted to talk about CSA, and I read a post, something like this on LinkedIn, showing a table, the traditional CSV and the new CSA by Anand, and I was really shocked. It's like the picture before. Traditional CSV perceived as a barrier to automated solutions and innovation. A barrier to innovation. No, GAMP5 CSV should enable innovation. It does not enable innovation if you do it wrong. New CSA. Oh, it's not centered, the text. Even there are some design problems. More flexible. And faster risk-based approach. Oh, we will talk about the risk-based approach later. All software validation as if it's product software. I don't get it. I'm not a native speaker, but some say we apply the same approach to every type of computerized system, and that's not correct. We're not doing that since, when I started working, since 25 years. So I don't need the CSA for that. CSA apply critical thinking. Okay. Primary focus in securing evidence. So that's nonsense. Okay. So CSA. Bob McDowall has written a wonderful article just some days ago. I have the PDF ordered, but you find it also online here. On the 15th of November, is CSA perfect solution or a confidence trick? Oh, that's a picture of Bob. Hi, Bob. That's cool. With over 50 years of experience, whenever you see an article and you see Bob McDowall, read it. Take your time. Sit down. It's golden liquid gold that you can read whenever you see that. That's a mark. Not like this marks. This is really a mark for the highest quality that you can read. You can even think about that. So you can even listen to that here That's really cool. And it says reading time 34 minutes. Maybe it will also take you 40 minutes, but it's like a training. If you have read that and you might discuss that with a colleague, wonderful, really a wonderful article. We will not read that now in the session, but I will try to add the link down in the comments so that you can easily go into that. Wonderful. Where is computer system validation defined? In US FDA, you only have two little clauses, 211.68 and 211.180. So, and there are interpretations, and Bob is describing that wonderfully. Also with the WHO, Annex 11, 1992, 2011, and currently in revision, will come up in 2025, I guess, something like this. So, and is describing that wonderfully, why they have done that. But that's also very important, the figures that Bob is adding to that articles, so it's easier to understand. So the general principles of software validation for, attention, medical devices. So if you have an SAMD, software as a medical device, or SIMD, software in a medical device, there are different levels of validation. And if you have a medical device which is then implemented at the patient, in the patient, then it needs something else regarding software quality than an ERP or MES or LIMS system, with all the required respect that we need to have on these systems managing GMP data, but medical devices, other application, other regulations and guidelines do apply. So here, the problem was for the US FDA, and it's also for me in place, if I'm at a pharmaceutical company and I tell them you must validate your QMS software, whatever it is, Kappa, master control, TrackWise, you know all the brands. A pharmaceutical customer will not say, "Oh, that's totally new. We must validate that." At the medical device industry, the discussions are starting then. Then they say, "No, it's not directly defined in ISO 34085 and so on." And I think the US FDA investigators for medical devices, so 21 CFR Part 820, they faced a similar problem. So they just added it here. So that will be an attachment. The guidance for industry, currently in a draft version, always in the header, contains non-binding recommendations. So it's not legally binding. It's good to know them. It will be edited to this general principles of software validation, which is based on Part 820, not CGMP, pharmaceuticals, drugs, medicinal products, however you call it, Part 210, 211. Okay, so, and yes, the guidance for industry, CSA, is having examples in the attachments. It's about validation of automated process equipment and QMS software and so on. This is where they put it in. Okay. So you find here wonderfully things written down here in this article. Again, 35 minutes it will take you to read that, and then how it will be integrated, and the CSA, how it's structured, 1 to 3 chapter, introduction, background and scope. Number 4, computer software assurance. Maybe not the best title, okay. And then you see in the appendix A 3 examples. Non-conformance management systems. In pharma, we would usually call it deviations. In the IT, you call it an incident, whatever. Then learning management systems and business intelligence applications. So simple pictures, doing a wonderful job, that you understand what it's about and where you should apply it. So software or system. Here, Bob is discussing also the different terms which are used. The CSI, Guidance for Industry, does not have a good terms and definitions section. So some people say computer system, software validation. For me personally, I talk about software validation if I have a medical device, and on the medical device there's hardware and software. Medical device could also be contact lenses. They don't have hardware and software, but there are things who have software and hardware. And then I'm explicitly talking about software validation in combination with a medical device. In pharma, I never call it software validation. And they just called it here computer software assurance. You see also here the references to PICS documents. Wonderfully done. Take your time, read it. Sometimes, if it's complex, stop for a moment. Google what is PICS PIO 11 figure 1. Usually this is a figure where you have hardware, software, equipment, the environment, and it describes what is a computer system, a computerized system. And as a European, according Annex 11, I would now say I validate the application. I do not really validate the software or the CD where the source code is on that. I validate the application, how to use it in the environment with the process related to the product that I produce or analyze. Okay, this is very well written, identifying the scope, then yes, testing, unscripted testing. It was never forbidden, so what's the discussion? I don't understand the discussion in general. So critical thinking, dead or alive. Oh, thinking, yeah. GAMP 5 is saying that critical thinking is missing in the CSA guidance. I like that. Nothing, nada, sip. Perhaps the FDA laws were worried by how to legislate the topic. Could happen. What is critical thinking and what is thinking? And what is a dumb person thinking? Is it wrong? It's also thinking, critical thinking. It seems to me if you would turn around the word, for some people it's really critical if they start to think about some things. Okay, so anyhow, it's very well written. It's not short. It's definitely not short, but I also always like the figures that Bob is adding to that, showing a real life example. It's a CDS system, whatever it is, Empower or anything else. The categories. I'm not a big fan of the categories. I don't know what it's about. It's okay. So wonderfully written, effective test instructions, how you write your test protocols. And sometimes Bob has this wonderful British humor. I love it. I don't know if everybody can handle that, but it's really great. If you write a test script, German you would call it a test protocol, sometimes irritating. This is written for idiots, and that's for trained users and testers. Usually I write my test scripts according this definition for idiots because I want to make sure that the exact execution of a test script is possible. So access file, I don't know, you could go on a button, you might have a short key like whatever, string n new, or you can also press a function key F3. So usually the same things happens, but maybe every user is doing it a little bit different. But again, it's showing very clearly these are the real topics that we are talking about. So, and where you can save time or efforts or concentrate on the real risky stuff. Okay, so that's wonderfully written. Thanks, Bob, for that. And here's the answer. Terroir CSA can be considered a confidence trick. So I don't want to spoil that, but it's so well written. I must say it's a must-read document within the pharmaceutical industry. It's not only going to the topic of CSA, it's much more about an own reflection, how we do validation and what it is about. Okay, so, oh, by the way, you can also download this as a PDF file. You just need to give your email email address into it, and they are sending it to you exactly the same, so you can take it with your mobile or tablet or whatever and read it next time waiting for a train or for a plane at the airport. Very, very nicely written, and this is really cool. And yeah, so root cause analysis. Funny picture. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Read this article by Bob CSA. Absolutely fantastic how it is written, bringing the things exactly to a point. And CSA handle it how it deserves it, and not saying that's the new CSV or something like that. That's totally bizarre. If you would say that, that's not true. That's not realistic. That's not a valid statement. So handle that. And funny sometimes is that when something trendy like this, when it's over and when it's ended, the same people then turn just around and then they talk about the next buzzword, whatever it is. So stay cool. Verify your CSV approach. Go to digital validation if needed. Apply whatever critical thinking. It's not a standard tick box mentality stuff assessment. Go into your processes. Follow the data. Okay, thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to